Welcome to Pete and Hannah's Watchlist. I'm your host, Pete Mitchell, and we're here today for We Interrupt Regular Programming, our TV podcast. But before we begin, I'm going to tell the viewers and the listeners what you should do. Hit the notification button and you'll get great content like this one. Like, follow, and subscribe, and you'll get some awesome content this week. What's next? We're reviewing Driveway Dolls, Zone of Interest, and then we continue our look at Oscar-nominated Best Pictures for our review show in a couple of weeks' time. And we also preview Dune Part 2. This week, AFI Top 100 is 12 Angry Men. So, good week on the channel, so you don't want to miss it. So, like, follow, subscribe. On today's show, we are going to talk about some Apple TV shows. We're going to talk about Masters of the Air that we've been watching in the last couple of weeks. And we're going to look at Dynasty, which is the New England Patriots NFL documentary. So, that's on today's show today. Let's start with Masters of the Air. Where did we leave off last week? Well, Buck, which is played by Callum Turner, got shot down. So he got shot down. And so we pick up right up from there, and Buck has been found out by a local German. Looked like he's going to get away. It's very high tense nature. Gets caught and then gets put on a train. Meanwhile, back in England, our two pilots that are left over from the 100, one gets sent to a retreat because he's been through three horrific flight missions, and then the other, the one that's the book's based on, he gets sent to with all these other English officers and sort of learning some stuff, getting ready for the rest of the war. So back to Buck. So he's found with some other pilots, English pilots. They're getting walked through town, and then they get attacked by the townsfolk, and the officers don't help them at all. A few of them get killed. They're getting Buck gets hit over the head with a wine bottle, and then you see them getting taken out of town. Buck look like he's dead, and then someone's saying the Our Father. They come up with a shovel and just hit him over the head. They go to bury the bodies, and then Buck breaks away. The people don't go chasing him because they know that they're going to get found. He gets found by British, gets found by German officers, gets taken for interrogation. This guy's trying to get information about all the new bombing raids that the 100's going to be involved in, new planes and such, but he just keeps giving his rank. He goes, do you want to know about Cleveland, which is played by Austin Butler? And it just keeps giving me rank. So he gets sent to the prison camp in 1943, and it's the biggest prison camp in Germany, and guess who's there? It's Cleveland. So we finally found out the reason. Back in Britain, you get the one of the pilots who has gone through some tough times. He's playing music, and then he gets sent back to the plane. He starts tapping that music out to make him go up there. So it's sort of like, just like Band of Brothers and Pacific, you get two different tracks. One of people in war dealing with it, and then also basically stuff that is exactly happening. It's just interesting how they didn't show Cleveland getting shot down and also getting captured, and then you show Buck getting shot down and getting captured. And it looks like next week's episode, which is a trailer for this one, at the end of it, is all about them doing the Great Escape thing, which we said in a couple of weeks ago that's what was going to happen. So yeah, this episode was fine. I think the show is not as good when it's not in the air, and I think the first two episodes of the show were fantastic, and I think it's a bit bland now. But yeah, we'll continue watching it. We've only got 3 weeks to go. So that's Masters of the Air. Apple's got great content. Like, I'm not sponsored by Apple. I do have an iPhone. But yeah, they're really producing great content. And that includes the documentary series Dynasty, which is produced by Brian Grazer and Ron Howard. If you don't know them, they own Imagine, which they produce great movies like Apollo 13. They produced A Beautiful Mind, which Ron Howard won for that. So they produced some great content over the years, and now they're helping produce this documentary on the New England Patriots. This documentary is really good. They've got great access to a lot of people. Kraft, Belichick, Brady. Look, I am not a New England Patriots fan, but this is a very interesting documentary. I would have done things a little bit differently. I didn't think they handled the Drew Bledsoe stuff like... He just goes out of the show. They don't mention what happened to him afterwards, after the Super Bowl. They don't go into when the Patriots were really struggling, when they missed the playoffs altogether and Tom Brady was really struggling. They don't talk about that at all. They just talk about the winning, basically. And then they go into Spygate, and they really couldn't get anything out of them with Spygate. They were, Kraft said that, Belichick was schmuck. That was pretty interesting. But other than that, it's not much. We're only at episode 4. There's, I think, 8 episodes in the series. They get released 2 at a time. It's quite good. I really enjoyed it. The way they go back through and they weave the stories in, you can definitely tell that the Kraft family is heavily involved. Like, it says Kraft family dynasty as like a copyright, so they probably had a hand in paying for it as well. So there is that grain of salt. But yeah, at the moment, I'm really enjoying it. Anything seeing sports teams or successful people and how they became successful, and the little stories about how they got there, it was really quite enjoyable. So that is it for the show. A couple of shows on Apple TV. There's also one with starring Ben Mendelsohn, The Look. Watch the first episode of that. It's really good as well. I can highly recommend that. It's about fashion. Ben Mendelsohn is just one of my favorites as well. So yeah, there's like a new show, Constellation, which I haven't seen before. I haven't watched an episode yet, but that Naomi Pace is in that. Yeah, my thoughts on Hijack from last year, morning show. So Apple TV just keeps delivering. So yeah. And they get great movies on the content show as well, like Kills the Flower Moon, and then Napoleon's coming soon. So yeah, it's Apple TV. Next week's show, we are going to look at a couple of Curb Your Enthusiasms. We'll also look at Masters of the Air. So that'll be a great show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Sorry for my voice. I've still got this cold. Hopefully I'll lose it sometime soon. Until tomorrow, when we catch up for What's Next, the show where we help you figure out what to watch next. It's bye for now.